How's everybody doing? Welcome Sunday morning. Light it up. What's today? April 14th. 2 weeks into the baseball season. Went by quick. And we're back at it at MLB. I started doing the shows on Friday. And now we'll be back every week. Friday at 10 a.m. and on Sunday at 11 a.m. with my buddy DJ Big Boss on Sunday. We'll be doing some Major League Baseball. We'll be doing some UFL today. And we'll just be doing our Sunday more like a free-for-all that we like to do. Capping as we go. I only got 2 games really to talk about today on a early season Sunday, which to me is like danger, danger. Gotta watch out for these weekend games. Didn't have a good one yesterday. Went 1-3 yesterday, but at least on Friday, on our first show, we did go 3-1. Even though the show was terrible, I was having computer problems. I was rusty, but the main part is we got some winning bets in, so that was good. But anyhow, welcome into Light It Up, and welcome in Mr. DJ Big Boss.
What up, though, fans? How y'all doing out there, man? Another Who-Banger show up right now with the Light It Up. If y'all not on to the Light It Up, man, y'all need to get with it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and put those alerts. Because when you see that logo in the back with the baseball, you already know my man John Ricci's jumping on. Let me tweet out a couple people. Let them know. Come join the chat. It's early in the morning. If you got questions, drop your questions. We hear, oh, my man Nasty Nate in the house.
Good morning, Nasty
Nate. But yeah, we just here just to being ourselves, man. It's the greatest thing about Team Who-Bangin, man. It's just something you just be yourself. If you're having a great morning, you want to pop on the camera and reach out to this guy on the West Coast. I'll hop in with you early morning and just vibe out. Win, lose, or draw, we back at it again. So Who-Banging Sports, man. Y'all better know what's happening. But yeah, one other thing while I'm on here, man, for the people that follow the Light It Up, the merch store is up for Who-Bangin apparel. I'm working on each show one by one. This week I should have all the Light It Up gear on there. I mean, you can get cups, you can get aprons, you can get socks, you can get shirts, hoodies, however you like it at this new spot. Here's a QR code right here. So I know y'all know how to do QR codes. So you just go to the QR code. It'll take you straight to our shop and whatever.
Hey, look at me being all official there. Woo, a QR code. I'm getting up there in the world. Good morning, Mr. Good. How are you,
gotta have your QR code. See? Yeah. And you got to test it. So if y'all watching right now, make sure you test this QR code I got. I'm going to leave it up here for a minute because it's not too much of an eyesore. But, you just scan your phone right to it with the camera, spreadshirts.com, booyah, and bam. Takes you right to the Who-Bangin store, man.
Good money. Good money.
So, man, if y'all want to get – because we do everybody already knows that for years we always have a lot of merch out there. A lot of people ask me about it, and I'll be like, man, I got 15,000 things to do, See, Who-Bangin shirts right there. You know what I'm saying? You can get those right at that QR code right there, It won't be handmade by me. I got my other people doing it, but you can get that. Of course, I've done all the logos and everything.
You are the creative director.
Y'all already know we legit when it comes to
You are the creative director. We ain't doing that without DJ, to be honest with you. We ain't looking to me for that stuff. That's I have a hard enough time getting through.
We got Good in the chat.
That's it.
I've never seen this one. Good. What up, though, Good?
Good's one of my boys. Good's always in my chat. Good knows the Good. He's always in my chat. It's good. It's
good.
Another regular. Light it up regular, DJ. I light it up regular. So
I'm gonna let Dom get in on baseball, and I'm telling Dom today. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. Just full off. I do this from time to time, just our shows. I just tell everything that we put out there. But if you did that on my show yesterday, you went 0-2. So I'm back. Hopefully, we gather some ground today, though. We got some more games coming up, and I'm gonna get into some of that information later. But take them away, Dom, man.
I tell you that UFL is hopefully gets a little popular. More and more people are talking about it. I've noticed a couple more videos popping up on YouTube. So it's a new thing. It'll take some time, but I'm glad that you're into tackling it because it could be some good guys playing for the U.S. Some names that we know and stuff. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Starting out, go ahead. What are you gonna say? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I
You
was
gonna
just
say
gonna
something?
say, yeah, but I mean, they do have some names we know and all that good stuff, but I can't, I'm gonna
It
keep
ain't
it
the NFL.
100% with you. Yeah, it's not NFL. It's not players that are on the peak of their careers.
That's why they're playing
They're in
there,
the
right?
other spots. Yeah, so a lot of people, eventually originally when it came across, people were thinking, oh, these are the players that are gonna go back to the NFL, and then we had some players that have done that, but majority of all those players, they're not even starters in the NFL still. So it goes along with my theory of football that everybody has their level in football as an athlete where they stop. Some stop at the NFL, but some are just the greatest in college and don't do very much in the NFL. So these guys been in a little bit of everything, and there's a few of them that's there, like AJ McCarron, the quarterback for
Yeah.
Battlehawks. That's his level. He's doing well right at this level, and they have Bob Stoops who's committed. He's a coach
Right.
over at the Renegade. He's committed to he's like, I love this. I get to do some football with some young guys. I ain't even trying to get in the NFL and have
No
the headache.
pressure.
But yeah, so he's enjoying it. So
Paycheck.
it's here to stay, guys.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's here to stay. It's spring ball, man. They trying every sport, football, baseball, basketball, and even soccer. They're trying their best to extend their existence in the media for the full year. And we eat it up all day. Like they've been having G leagues and all this stuff in basketball for years,
Yes.
and no one never thought to watch it or anything.
Right. The
But
summer
now that,
league. Yep.
yeah, suddenly
Yeah.
now that they want to spread it out, we can watch these things on ESPN. You get to know some of these players, you never see them again. So it's all about spreading it throughout the year, and this is what they're gonna do with football. And football is a really clingy sport. So eventually, people are gonna catch on. I mean, the Blackhawks last week sold 40,000 tickets to the game. I mean, some arenas that we know don't even hold 40,000.
Right.
So 40,000 is a good number.
Yeah.
They were right last week. They were right in between. The lowest was like 780,000, and the highest was like 970,000 in viewership. But you had college basketball, you had baseball, and a lot of competitors
Right.
up against it. So
Uh-huh.
I'm eager to see what the numbers are going to look like this
That's a
week.
good look. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. And you're right. And the college basketball this year even had a lot of viewership because of the women, and went on with the women
Man,
this year.
exactly.
They beat out the men's viewership. So combined, if you look at college football, basketball now as women's and men's combined, that's a big number, and they still beat that. So that's
Yeah, and they looking
that's
at that
legit.
number as like airtime, right? That's how much
Yeah.
airtime that sport is doing. And me and women's college basketball was bettable for over 20 years now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now because of social media, this is where we are. So my point is, watch what you and filter what you take in from this stuff. You got to remember, it's the entertainment business, and there's always a hook on the end. So get what you need out of it and leave it
The
alone.
hook. The hook. Always the
And get
hook.
us.
I hear you, man. All right, cool. Very good. MLB. We started 2 weeks ago. Thursday was 2 weeks in, right? So we're like 2.5 weeks into the season. It's tough early on in Major League Baseball. It's hard to really find if you want to be honest with yourself, it's hard to really find super edges and things like that. You just got to kind of, for me, and what I tell people is just take it slow. Even bet less than you usually bet, and it's more lucky now than anything. You need some data. Baseball, I think, is more of a data-driven sport than anything, and it's the reason why I didn't start doing the shows until Friday. Because I would have really liked to wait longer, but you can't really. There's so many people doing this that we had to get back on the air. But I didn't want to start day one because it's flipping coins. No matter I can't base it off of spring training. That's tough. That's tough. So I just say tread lightly in baseball. I've been holding my own. I'm probably about even, maybe a unit or two down or up. I didn't even look the last couple days, but That's what I do at the beginning of the year. I take it easy. I cut down my how much I bet per unit, and then I start building. So that's just my 2 cents on how you should tackle the season. Hope everybody else is having a good little start. Today we got a bunch of games, but I only got 2 games so far listed. But if we look at the standings and stuff, it's the same old teams are really there already at the beginning. I mean, like Texas Rangers are the best team in the West. The Yankees and the Orioles are top in the East. The only difference is in the Central, which is always a toss-up league. Kansas City, what a unbelievable how they're playing. I watched them, of course, the last 2 nights. They're full games because they're here in New York playing the Mets, and they're a scrappy team. Keep your eye on that team, man. They got speed. Their starting pitching staff is I think still the best. Even though the Mets, even in losses, scored some runs off of them. A little surprising for me with how the Mets have been hitting the ball, even in losses. But getting back to the standings, Kansas City, I don't think is a fluke. We've seen them coming on late last year. Exactly what we see with Baltimore Orioles the year before that, how they came on late at the end of the year. Then last year they had a good year, almost made it, a good run to the play. Came a little short at the end. Kansas City, to me, reminds me of the Baltimore Oriole team of 2 years ago. Keep your eye on them. And they're in that shitty division. Except, the Guardians aren't crappy. And Detroit's playing good, but I always find Detroit to start out strong, and they're going to start tailing off. We'll see. The thing about the Tigers, last year they just got hit with injuries. Their whole starting pitching staff was taken out of the box early. But they got a good young team, too. That AL Central is going to be a tricky division, but you got the White Sox in there. The Twins aren't that good. They don't have the bats. Something's up there for me with the Twins. In the NL, the Brewers are leading the league. The Pirates are doing what we thought they were going to do. Another team who, at the end of last year, came on strong. Same with the Cubs. NL Central, AL Central, all 2 tough divisions this year. The Cardinals, the Reds. But out in the LA West, who's leading the league in the LA West? 11-6, the Dodgers. 5-2 in their division, 7-2 at home. Even though they gave me a loss yesterday by just taking a rest versus the Marlins yesterday, which I think today might be totally opposite. They're leading the league. The Philadelphia Phillies are a good team, but they always start out slow. Zach Wheeler has not had a good outing yet. I think that changes today. The Mets, we got problems pitching. We got the bats are heating up. We can hit the ball. We got some good players, but some of our guys, Lindor is still batting like 100 or 98. I think it was 0.098 yesterday, actually. He was batting. But the Mets have been hitting the ball lately. They won a bunch of games. They started out super, super slow, and they kind of turned it around with their bats, but we have pitching problems. But I did take a game. I did take them today because I do feel like the best pitcher that they have right now, because of our boy being hurt, Kodai being hurt. Mr. Budo was on the mound today against the Royals, and that's the game I took to start off the day. Royals versus Mets. This is a tough one. I took the first 5 under 4.5. I got it at -110 on FanDuel. And I like Budo. I think Budo's a really good pitcher. And Cole Reagans is a guy that I mentioned from the start to keep your eye on. I talked about him last year at the end of the year. I think he's going to be get better and better as a pitcher. He hasn't, he's had a little, it's tough at the beginning of the year. So he's only had a couple starts. I like him a lot. His last start was versus the Astros. He didn't have his best stuff, but this is what I like about him. He actually gave up 10 hits, but he only gave up 3 runs. He had 5 strikeouts. He didn't give up any homers. And the Royals actually, he kept them in the game, and they won that game in extra innings against the Astros. He got a little bit unlucky in that game, with a couple of balls that probably should have been caught. He did have early in the game, he was letting up a lot of hits, but he pitched out of jams. He had bases loaded 2 times bases loaded, 2 times he had first and second with no outs, and he still was able to pitch out of jams. I love seeing that. And as far as Budo, he pitched. He actually had a win against the Tigers, who started off strong this year. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run only, 6 Ks, 3 walks. I don't like 6 Ks to 3 walks, but he's pitched. He's pitched good to start the year. I think the ball might stay in the park a little bit today, hopefully for at least the first 5 innings. And I took the 4.5. Yesterday, I had the Mets team total over 4.5, but I really thought that Sean Manaea was going to have a good outing, and I thought he was going to hold the Royals down. And I usually don't do this, but I took the under 8.5, but I took the Mets team total over 4.5. Well, if you watch the game, and the wind was blowing in. The wind was blowing from left to right, almost into the stands, past the right field. That's how the wind was blowing. The balls were going across. Guys were having a hard time catching the ball. Matter of fact, Marte made an error that you won't see him do 2 times in a year. You won't see him make this error on a ball coming across the field, and that inning ended up being a 4-run inning with a 2-out error. But be that as it may, sometimes the weather plays against you. If you looked at the weather yesterday, you would think that it was 20-mile-an-hour gusts, wind blowing across into the stands. There was 17 runs scored yesterday. Alonso hit hit a home run. I think he had 2 home runs. The Royals had a couple home runs. It was 11-7 game. So don't always count on that weather. Be careful with that weather. But that was yesterday. Today, just to end it about the Mets and the Royals, I like the Mets today to win the game, but I stuck with the first 5 under 4.5. A little contrary bet to what are the bets that are coming in. So we'll see what happens. The other game that I am on happens to be another New York team, and that is the Yankees. Yankees at Cleveland, Cortez against Allen. I was wrong about Nestor Cortez. I didn't think he was going to start out so strong. I thought he was going to be a little bit slow start, and it doesn't seem that way. He's pitching great. His last game, 8 innings. No, his last game was against the Marlins. I know it's the Marlins, but still, he pitched 8 innings, which you don't see too often in starting pitches. 0 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Before that, he pitched. And it was a 7-0 win by the Yankees. The game before that, he was a little bit up and down, but as the game went along, he settled down against the D-backs. That was, and you could see that he was had a good spring. Probably he was ready to go. He probably worked hard in the off season, and he started out stronger than I thought. So I took the under today in this game, 8.5 plus 100. I think the reason why this game is juiced to the over is because Logan Allen did not have the greatest start of the season. I do think today is going to be different. He was a little bit unlucky. And what happened last game with Logan Allen is he played the White Sox, and they scored 5. White Sox of all teams scored 5 runs on him early. No, not the White Sox, the A's. They scored 5 runs on him early, and he ended up pitching again out of jams. He got a little unlucky. There was a couple line drives right down the line that were doubles, and he kept in there. Still ended up having 6 2/3 innings. Didn't give up any home runs and 6 Ks. I think that that was okay. His last game was the 5-run game versus the A's. The game before that was 6 2/3, 0 runs, 6 Ks against the Mariners. So I do think that he will pitch a little bit better today. I almost backed Cleveland, but they don't hit lefties that great. Yankees are a tough team to go against right now. They are hitting the ball pretty well. But I think this is going to be a pitching matchup. I think the Pens are pretty decent. They're rated pretty good on the top half of the league. So I took the under 8.5 at even money. And those are the 2 games I took.
I got one game I'm gonna play in baseball today. Man, I'm backing Luis Castillo at Seattle, man. It's a -140. This guy hasn't got a win yet. He has been giving up some hits, and this game is probably going to go over. But I'm not interested in the older. I'm interested in Castillo getting his first win as a pitcher because I mean you got to draw your line in the sand at 1 point. So I like Castillo today. I'm about to put that in right now.
You see what happens? You got to keep. There's my boy Faux Tashi in the house. What's up? Real Deal Prime in the house. Thank you guys for joining. Good morning, Don Player. Is that Don Player back? Is that Don
Player
Play?
back. Don Play must have had his account.
You had a little problem,
up.
Don, with your account.
Yeah.
You had to change up your name a little bit.
Yeah,
But I was going to say, when
he
you
had
got
a
to watch,
stalker, man. He's a player, man. He had a
you might have had a stalker. It might have been Tease. um, Good morning, Football Tashi. How you doing, brother? What I was going to say is, listen, these third and fourth starts of the season, don't be so hung up on how they pitched already coming the first couple games. Take some time to get adjusted to the season again. Depending on what happened in the off season, depending on some of these pitchers didn't pitch that much in the off season. They might have been dealing with a little bit of injury. They might have been dealing with this or that. So these third of like when you say about Castillo, that's he's a perfect example. We know that he's a good pitcher. We expect him to have a better outing today. I think that's a good look about it. It's a good pickup by you. We're talking about him. There's another guy, and that's my lean today. The Giants minus 118. Now Matt Snell. Remember last week, Snell's first outing was against the Nats. I was all over the Nats. First 5 plus 174 and full game plus 178. I remember, right, DJ? You remember that, right? And and the reason why I bet Snell is because he didn't pitch at all in spring training. There was contract issues. He's on a new team with the Giants. He came from Tampa, who he's playing today, and that was his first start. So that was his first real competition batting, and he got hammered. And that's the reason why the Nationals won. It was a situation. It was an angle that came through, and it worked. Today, I think it's the opposite. I think Snell has a good outing today. The Giants are minus 118. He's playing against his old team, Tampa. He's in Tampa where he knows that mound well, better than he knows the mound on his new team in San Francisco. And I think the Giants are a good bet at minus 118. I want to see where that line went. I kind of think people was going to maybe jump on Tampa, and I might get a better price. But minus 118 on the Giants ain't a bad look at all. Jimmy Gomez in the house. What's up, Jimmy? So that's just going to talk about how pitches, going along. Keep your eye on that, by the way. Another game I kind of leaning on too, and I'll finish my baseball, is the Dodgers team total over 4.5. It's only at 102. They scored, 1 run yesterday against the Marlins. I think the Dodgers, probably do what they do today, and they should get at least 5 runs off the Marlins today. So anybody in the chat got any plays for baseball? What are you on, Fopatachi? You got on any Jimmy Gomez? You got any baseball? Let us know.
I know Jimmy got something.
Let us know what you got, because what we're going to do. So anyhow, that's the baseball for you. Like I said, man, it's the beginning of the year. 140 something games left, right? 150 games left. So plenty of baseball. You don't have to go crazy. It's a long, long season. Some crazy stuff happens at the beginning of the year. That's just the way it goes. So tread lightly. But what is going on with the UFL? Now, yesterday you said you went 1-1 yesterday. You went 0-2 yesterday. What happened?
0-2 yesterday. So for the season, the first week I went 2-2. Week 2, I went 1-1, and so far this week I'm 0-2. But it's all about, and we know this. It's all about asking yourself, at the end of a game, would I do the same thing again? You know what I'm saying? According to my cap. So I lost by 1 point with DC Defenders. Oh yeah. Let me switch up on Dom since Dom gonna walk away. Oh, I got something for you, Dom. We about to take you to UFL world. Let's go. Yeah. Here we go. We're in UFL zone now. Let me adjust Dom here into UFL mode. But yeah, anyways, back to UFL, right? So, I always gotta go back and look at my pick and say, hey, would I do it again? So DC Defenders are lost. They were -2. They won by 1. Of course, I'm going back to do it again. But in the other game, I actually I laid down the wrong bet because I had the under in the Birmingham Stallions and the Memphis Showboat game. And in fact, even on the show, I said that Fox are looking for ratings and they should be scoring. But I had the under in that game, and the game went over, and then it went well over because of the UFL rules and all that kind of stuff. So in that game, going back, if I've been betting the games on Fox to go over, I would be 2-1 right now. So I missed out on that opportunity. Those are the kind of things you got to write down. And you got to make sure next time when you reach those points that you fix those things. So going into today game, I got some more. Oh, here go. Jimmy says he likes the put Jimmy pick up. He's like in the under 9 in the Philly games, but he's still capping. It's early, so y'all go tune in to Jimmy G's Twitter because he's probably gonna put those picks up on Twitter. And
What do you
a
say?
whole
You like
bunch of other stuff.
the under 9 in the Phillies game? I think Zach Wheeler has a good outing. Like he's another guy, like we just talked about, had a slow start. Actually, he didn't pitch so bad as that his team didn't back him up. Also, which he's used to being an ex-Met. but
Yeah, but let me go
Jimmy, I
back
like
into
that. I like that. Go ahead.
I'm gonna
Go
go
ahead,
into
DJ.
today's games real quick.
I was looking for them. Covers don't have anything on the UFL. They don't
Yeah,
have like
sometimes it's yes. Every market doesn't have it, but
yeah,
UFL have their own website that gives you everything.
right.
So and also they have an awesome thing. I think it's called StatFox. So when the games are over, when you go back and look at the schedule, you go to full schedule, you go to the game, and you go to stats, and the StatFox program comes up and it gives you a full, thorough everything that they have stats for the team, all the way down to crowd attendance and all that stuff.
Cool.
So go check out. I always have to put in xfl.com and it reroutes me to UFL because the University of Florida, every time you put UFL, you get a lot of University of Florida stuff. So just a little tip for y'all, man,
Oh.
because I need cappers to reach in with me on the XFL, and I'm not always right. Sometimes I need to chop it up with somebody and get to the root of the problem so we can get all winners. So right now I'm struggling a little bit, but we're gonna jump into this one today. I talked about this one on the show yesterday. I still feel the same way about it. I think this is a chance for the Houston Roughnecks. I feel like the Houston Roughnecks is going to be one of the bottom teams, but I think today might be an opportunity for them to actually get a win on the board against a team that they're more familiar with because they both come from the USFL, coaching wise, even though the Houston Roughnecks is the same name as the XFL's Houston Roughnecks. But in all actuality, it's the Houston Showboats and everything that they had going on the UFL. So this is a UFL versus UFL game, basically. And in this one, I think C.J. Johnson, the coach at Houston, I think he got a shot right here. This is probably one of his best shots because the Panthers, they're playing at a level that they could be really exciting and excel, but they could also be a bottom feeder of this 8-team conference as well. So, but they're at home today. So at home, we have a slight advantage because at home, ticket sales, crowd attendance, everybody's trying to get, basically they're creating a home because these guys they had central places to play in the USFL. So now they're getting a home crowd or followers that actually have a brick and mortar, shall we say, right? So I took the Panthers early in the week, minus the 2.5, but I truly do feel that Houston, may have a chance. But I'm not going to go against my captain because my captain, it involved, my theories and my angles that I cap by. So I'm not going to go against that in this spot right here. But I'm just going to take that in this game. I thought about the total. The total is low because both of these teams struggle on offense. and they can play a little defense. So the total is low for a reason. Remember, when the book set a total low, they doing half the work for you because 38.5 is really low. Not too low in the UFL, but it's really low anyway.
Yeah, it
So
sounds low, right?
yeah, but
I
most of
mean,
these
both
games,
teams. I've been looking up the teams. Houston points for 30 points average in their first two games. They scored 30 points, and the Panthers 31. Panthers giving up 36, and the Roughnecks giving up 41. So
yeah, yeah.
that yeah.
But the Panthers played the top team in the whole UFL, which is
They
the
okay.
Birmingham Stallions, and Houston had a little battle out. But yeah, both of them really haven't showed maturity um, on that level. And I can't put it together right now. The clientele over there, the personnel over there, because
Right.
that makes a difference too. But both of those quarterbacks on both teams, they're not high in the rankings of quarterbacks in the UFL. So it's just a lower level lane, and I see the under. But I don't know. I've been, I got to get it out of me, but I be so contrarian all the time. I feel like the over might be a spot for that one, but it's gonna be played on ABC. Everybody's gonna be watching. So basically, this is like free to watch. Everybody's gonna be watching. They need to get the numbers up over there. I don't know if scoring or just a good game is what they need right there, but we'll see in a minute. It's about to come on in 25 minutes, so
Oh,
I
it's a
don't
new
know if
start,
you
huh?
and you judge my capping and you pick a side where you at. I'm staying with my capping -2.5, but my mind and my heart shows that this is the opportunity for the Houston Roughnecks to go. But let me jump to the next one because it's only two games. I don't want to hold everybody up.
And they are
The
playing in a dome, by the way, if that means anything. They're playing in Ford Field where the Lions
yeah,
play, so they're playing in a dome. If that, so there's no weather issue
yeah,
as
no
far
weather
as
issue in that one. Yeah,
So
they had to do that up there because the weather had
yeah,
been
without
crazy.
doubt.
But you know what I was thinking about too. Football at this level hasn't really been played in this weather of the year. Football we have to accumulate weather because of the time of year it is. But being spring ball is a whole different time. The weather hasn't really been a big factor. But I was watching one game and I did see a lot of wind. So yeah, we might have to examine how that goes down right there. But next game up right here, Battle Hawks and the Brahmas. So I'm gonna tell you 100%. I'm a little biased to the Brahmas from my, you know, years, watching everything. I like what they did right there. Wade Phillips, who used to be the coach of the Houston Roughnecks, transferred over to the Brahmas, right? So he went from Texas to Texas, and they got rid of Rod Woodson. And I didn't think Rod Woodson, he's maybe a good player, coach, a great player in the NFL, but I don't think he was cut out for coaching. And that's where they struggle with the Brahmas. The Brahmas play at the Alamo, where they vacated and nobody's there now. So they're the big thing at the Alamo. So yeah, this town of San Antonio, Texas period is growing, and I think they really want a good team here. And the Brahmas is hilarious. As a icon for him because people are always like, "What is a Brahma?" Go look it up. It's even funny. It's like a cross mix of some animal and shit. So it's crazy, right? So, but people like that kind of stuff, and they got people showing up. So I'm excited to see what type of attendance they get today playing the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks obviously have a solid following. They the one that got the 40,000 last week ticket sales, people in seats, 40,000 for UFL spring ball. That was amazing. So they almost lost that game though, so they carrying that on their shoulder. They on the road. I really do like the coach over there at the Battlehawks. He does a lot of improving as he moves along. So if he digested last week as they had a horrible game and they need to improve, then he should advance right here. But if they didn't do that for this week, the Brahmas are going to get him because the Brahmas with Wade Phillips have a real well-oiled system. That's what's making them come along to the point that they are, is because of the system, not necessarily the personnel. Even though they do have a great quarterback with Gabbers, and Battlehawks have a seasoned quarterback with AJ McCarron. He's been the guy. He's like has the most secure job as a quarterback in the UFL. All the other teams, some of these guys can get pulled out at any minute. But this Gabbage guy, I predicted in for the Brahmas that he would do well with the Brahmas because he came out of Cal, where the scheme at Cal wasn't throwing the ball all over the place and having all these great receivers. So the theme over here is a little different. So he gets a little chance to show his arm and show some of his athleticism. He should become a little more threat on the ground because the guy was a basketball player, believe it or not. Right, so he should be able to move his feet a little better and become a run pass threat. And I like him right here at home as a home dog. Give me the 2 points with the Brahmas. I'm taking that, and I'm taking the over. Even though the unders have been hitting, well, not so far this week because yesterday I think we got 2 over games yesterday. I'm not quite sure the final score.
Yesterday the one game. Look, I don't know what the lines were, but.
What was the score of the first game?
Which game?
The first game.
The Defenders game was 29-28.
Yeah, that went
over. The Memphis game was they scored 14. Birmingham scored 33. So I don't know what the numbers were.
Both of the numbers were like at 41, 42, somewhere.
So they might have both went over.
40. Both went over, and this is in a sport where the first week it was 4-0 to the under. So it started this week, right? It was who was it? 6-2 to the under, I believe it is, at the start of this week. So now we got 2 more. So now we 6-4. We might get an under out of that first game. The line is set already low. And this game right here, I like it going over. It's because this is the game that's supposed to leave a taste in your mouth to come back and watch next week.
Would you tell me before we started the show, right? We were talking about this before we started the show, and that's exactly what we were saying. People want to see scoring, man. People want to see scoring in every sport. They don't want to. Only old school people, like old school baseball cappers like me, I love a 3-1 ball game. No one wants to see that. Football game, they don't want to see a defensive NFL game. They want to see they want to see scoring. So I'm with you, man. I think they're going to try to push for scoring, and I would definitely lean over in these games before I would lean in and under if I had to make a bet. That's for sure.
See, my man Dom Players, he's with me. He said he doesn't trust the Panthers offense. I don't really either, but they can move the ball on the ground a little bit. So we're hoping for a little success running the ball. He said he was thinking about betting the under. If it gets to 40, he's going to join live. I like that angle, Don Player. And also he says the stars are the kickers of the UFL. Yeah, the guy kicking the big field goals, they are the stars. But like I said,
that leads to overs too, though.
But think about what I said at the beginning of the season. It's at a different time of the year, and the weather is different.
So the ball carries different.
The elements of the weather is different. In the spring, it could be less humid in some places, and so it makes a lot of sense that this guy kicked 2 60-yarders back to back in weeks, But the other one, he broke his neck or some shit. The social media guy that everybody's on, he broke something, but I don't know. It might be all a social media thing because the guy doesn't. I mean, he can kick, but he doesn't appear to be like a kicker like that because he was famous on the social media end of things, and he's the social media kicker. They call him D Weeds or something like that, but he's out right now. But he's on 5-week injury. He still has a chance to come back and do something towards the end of the year if the team gets to going along. So
how many games in this season do you know?
It's 10. It's 10 games.
10 games. All right.
And two postseason games. The players get $5,000 per week. The winner of the game gets an extra $1,000. And if you get to continue on to the next 2 games, then you have a chance to make another additional 10,000. Plus, I don't know what the bonus is for winning the championship, but they got some drama with the UFL about they're supposed to be giving the players $1,000 addition a week for player of the week, and for the past 2 weeks they haven't put up a player of the week. So their union stepped in and said, "Hey, the players want to raise a fat fuss about this." So that's what's going on the drama side of things with the UFL. Got to be some drama involved for the world to turn. Because everybody loves a good soap opera, But let's jump back over to that's my everything right here at the
UFL. Boy Damon in the house. What's up, Dave?
Yeah, and once again, on my page as well, right there in the corner is the QR code that will get you to our merch store where you can purchase. See all of those icons that's on that side over there. They're all gonna have merch in there: t-shirts, hoodies, everything you need right there. That's lighted up, the live sweat, Wham Talk, the Fight Lounge, and hopefully my man Teeth comes back around with the We Got Next for the WNBA. So
Yeah, we got some time for that. That's good. Yeah, yeah.
that is it for me. I'm gonna give it right on back over to Dom.
All right, we got to. I'll just go over my plays again today. Should be a good should be a good day. Hey, Jimmy, I think Zach Wheeler pitches a decent game today, so that under is a decent look. I kind of like the Phillies today. The number's high, but I kind of like them today. I also I like too many games today, so I'm gonna take it as it comes. Just a quick shout out to the Mets because they're gonna honor Doc Gooden today before the game. If you're retiring his numbers going up in the rafters. I'm a big Doc Gooden guy. Watched him pitch many times. I was young enough to see Tom Seaver pitch, but I was a kid. I was 10, 11, 12 years old. You don't appreciate it. I was in my late 20s, and when Doc was pitching, man, nothing like it. The guy, he was a humble guy. He was he didn't care about the spotlight. All he cared about was pitching. I know we had a lot of troubles afterwards, but the Mets are honoring him today. Ceremonies at 12:30. It's one of the few things like I would watch. Go ahead. What was that?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why are you telling us this information towards the end of the show? That's big information that they giving out. Those type of things go crazy at least first half or something. There's always a reaction when they have those type of award ceremonies in all sports. And you gonna tell us at the end of the show?
This is true. This is true.
I gotta go back and see what my Mets betting about to look like now because I gotta take the.
So the honor of the doctor. They are. They also honoring Darryl Strawberry this year, so it's just great. Last year I was at the Keith Hernandez ceremony because I'm just always been a big Keith fan. So the Mets are honoring the doctor today. Got his shit back together, got his life back together. Shout out to my boy Doc Gooden. The Mets were, let's see, the Mets were minus. The Mets went from plus 114 opening to a minus. I'm looking at covers has a minus 102. I'm going to go on FanDuel right now. I did bet the under 4.5, like I said in that game, first five.
I'm taking Mets first five. Let me see what I could get for that.
Yeah, I'm going back on
first
now.
First five, Mets. Money line is even money. Plus a half a point is minus 145. So I'm going to go with the even money. Mets to win. Money line. First five for me.
Speaking about that bet, if you think about it, and you know what? If you see that plus half in the first five as a bet like I've never taken, but if you think about it, I never take a minus half first five. I cured myself of that stupid bet 2 years ago because that's to me, I think there's no worse bet than a minus half a run line in the first five. I just don't. It's just you have to hit it. A plus a half, you could win two ways. You can only lose one way and lose two ways, right? The money line bet you can win one way, lose one way. The half you can't. So think about that. But anyhow, yeah.
But for 45 cents compared to even money, I like.
No. See that the problem with the plus a half is sometimes it's juiced too much. That's why you don't take it. But I'm just saying, I think the minus is such a bad bet. I know people take it, but I just disagree with that bet on all levels. But anyhow, just like I'm also not a fan of that minus one line. Either bet the run line or bet the game. The minus one line bet to me is just like you're trying to hedge your bet before it even starts.
It's too much money. It's too much math for me. I'm like, how much to do on? But I heard they have
they got minus one lines now listed. But listen, I know basically to me, Jimmy the Bag and Pete Jimmy's really the one that invented that damn thing to me. I mean, 5 years ago was the first time I ever heard about -1, and he just was doing it organically. And you never heard anyone talking about -1 lines. Today, you'll hear people talking about -1s. I still don't agree with the bet. As a matter of fact, me and Jimmy laugh about it. One of the few things we disagree about when it comes to handicapping is that I'm just not a fan of it. I don't say it's bad. I'm just not a fan of it. But anyhow, going off on another tangent. FanDuel has the Mets -102 for the full game. And the first 5. See, the under 8.5 is juiced now to -122. So some money's coming in on that under also for the full game. I took the first 5. So I have my 2 games. So let us get out of here. The 2 games that I am on is the Mets first 5 -110, under 4.5 -110. I am also on the Yankees Cleveland game under 8.5 plus 100. Most likely going to add the Giants -118, and I will have some kind of Met bet in some fashion. Maybe I'll throw a little parlay in with the Mets and somebody. We'll see. But that's what I got for you today on our first Sunday Light It Up show.
What was your Yankees bet again?
My Yankee bet was under 8.5 plus 100, even money against
under 8.5
at Cleveland in the Guardian Town. That's where we're at. Home of Ixnizzle.
There we go. There goes.
All right, guys.
Mets
Tuesday night live sweat. Jimmy Gomez live sweat Tuesday nights, right? They'll be back. The we got our UFC boys doing the Fight Lounge, which is a new thing for Who-Bangin, which is a great thing that they're doing it. We always have Wham Talk. DJ be doing a UFL every Saturday morning for the next 8 weeks, I guess. It's 8 more games left, or whatever, 7 more, plus the playoffs. So you'll be having that. And Light It Up Friday mornings, 10 a.m. Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. for the free-for-all. And thanks, everybody, for showing up. DJ, you got anything else?
Well, there's my man Dom's pick right there for y'all on the banner and for y'all in the chat, for y'all to get that. And then here's my picks for the UFL, Battlehawks, Brahmas over 42, Michigan Panthers -2.5. Those are our picks, man. You can get us out of here, Dom. Shout out to the whole chat, man. Appreciate all y'all for coming in here and supporting us. And we had quite a lot of people showed up. I wasn't expecting such a crowded room, y'all, but yeah, I appreciate it.
We only put it up last night. I only even put it up last night on Twitter, so yep, it was a last minute thing. All right, guys. I will have a good week. And we'll see you during the week. See you during the week.